Okay. Testing, testing, testing. Cool, cool. All right. Let's get a better mic stand here. Sorry for the microphone noise. That's not too bad, I hope. All right, all right, all right. All right. okay here. There we go. That's better. Okay, alright. Okay, sorry, things weren't routed properly. I don't know if there's anybody paying attention. Right now, I'm just making sure some things are uploaded, updated. This is kind of neat. I've never done this before. I see there's 3 people, and I know 2 of them are me, so the one person that's there. Hi, how you doing? How's it going? So right now, it's just so we got a Novation Remote SL is the keyboard that I've had for a long time. It's over here. You can't really see it too well. But it's that guy right that guy right there. And had that thing for a long time. It's really a good keyboard for assigning things. So right now I'm assigning all of these parameters to the iPad and Octatrack and Digitakt and Digitone and such. The idea here is to try and create some sort of live set for using these 4 things in the keyboard. So yeah, I mean, why don't we just do something? Let's just do something. All right, so quick mute. All right, so we want to make sure. So we have the Digitakt and the Digitone playing all of the melodic stuff. The Digitakt is sequencing itself for drums. The Digitone is actually just acting as a sound module being sequenced by the Octatrack, because the Octatrack has a better sequencer in terms of arpeggiator options and things like that. So I like using that a lot more. There we go. Get this. Try and find a good place for this keyboard. Yeah, okay. All right, that should do. So how does that look? How much of my head is going to be in there? That's not too bad. That works a little bit better, doesn't it? Look at that. Fancy schmancy. Got my Batman cup here. That's pretty cool. That's not good at all. Hello. Yeah. Exception. Yeah, wow. Okay, let's write that one down. Exception. That's never good. DN0036V04. That's a lot of numbers. All right, we'll start there. Let's turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay, seems like it started up. Let's try that again. All right, just pick up right where we left off. And we'll check that out later. So this whole thing that I've got going on is a kind of like a chill out ambient thing that I've been thinking about for a while, and I feel like I've collected a nice set of tools to make it happen in the way that I feel like I and what I kind of want to be able to do. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, so that's a thing that I was working on. Doing it like for what is probably two people. Hi, two people. Makes me realize that maybe it needs to be a little bit more exciting, or at least have some more variations. So that's something I'll work on. So yeah, I mean, I've only been on here for 25 minutes and I've got nothing else to do at the moment. So maybe I'll just keep talking about other stuff. Why don't I talk about the studio? And if there's anybody out there who wants to like talk or say something on the chat, we are relatively socially isolated. So, hi. Yeah, that's there. Okay. So, anyways, yeah. So let's talk about this studio here. So, you can see I'm kind of a fan of the Elektron stuff. I'm not talented in some ways. I'm not good at playing any instruments, so I've found that having the built-in sequencers and everything, like I've learned the workflow, and it works really well for me. I find that I can get some really creative stuff out of it. Now it's just a matter of taking it all and turning it into a song somehow. Here I've got this Access Virus C, which I got 13 and a half years ago living in New York. I always wanted one, mainly because it's cool looking and I didn't know anything at the time. And now, of course, I know more and I'll never part with it. So that's a really useful tool as well. It's a great virtual analog. You can get a lot of different sounds out of it. Over here, I have my Zero Coast, which kind of gives me a little bit of the modular sound, lots of little patching stuff I can do. That's a lot of fun. I kind of like... I used to like to buy gear all the time, and now I don't because it seems like you get overwhelmed with having too much stuff. Whereas here, I feel like I have a mix of kind of one tool per job. You know, there's the Digitone for the FM synthesis, the Digitakt for like the short sampling and drums and stuff, and the Octatrack for the crazy mangling, then the Virus for all of the synth sounds you could probably ever need out of most synths, and then the Zero Coast for the little bit of modular stuff, and then there's the iPad. There's the iPad, which is great for everything else. If you just need other sounds or portable and all that stuff. I know a guy who may be watching, or maybe some of his family is watching, who should probably just go buy an iPad as well. Some great apps are Borderlands and Sampler, and maybe I can show that off a little bit later while I'm sitting here messing around. What I did want to do right now, which I thought might be kind of fun, is I've been doing this this thing where I've been making vocal samples and then making beats out of them. So I thought maybe we could do some of that. So why don't we do that? Let me just move some things out of the way real quick. Okay, let's move this over a little bit. Okay, and maybe a little bit further over. There we go. All right. So let's say, no, let's not save you. Let's just project. Let's not mess with that right now. All right, so this guy will save, turn all of you back on, save this guy, okay. All right, so I actually have a project that is just for this kind of like sampling experimentation. So the mic is gonna cut out for a minute. You're probably totally fine with that because you don't really care about listening to me talk. So here we go, all right, monitor. I'm assuming, there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So let's make that the sample. All right. Let's see what that sounds like here. I guess that's our sample. Assuming, there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So let's make that the sample. All right, so that's the sample. So let's save that as that. You know what? Hold on. try and get you guys a better view of what's going on here. So we're going to title this That's the... Yeah. Lauren always says, how can you work like this? All of these little things that you have to do instead of just writing music. And for me, there's something kind of zen about it. All right, so assuming there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So let's make that the sample. All right. So that's the sample. So let's just copy that to assuming there we go. Okay. Oh, stop that. All right. So we're just gonna.
Scrapple is a naughty pig.
Oh, that was from another one.
This is a
all right. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. I'm an idiot. There we go. Okay. Ooh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as. All right. Assuming. Yeah, you can stop now. Okay. Assuming. There we go. Okay. All right. So it plays everywhere. Good. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Okay. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as. All right. So I like to try and when I'm using the drum machine stick with like the labeled sounds or at least what I see as order. So kick, snare. I usually put hi-hats here on these two. It's not. I don't know why they labeled it that way. I guess people were hoping that maybe one day they would be. There would be like actual synthesis in here, like the machine drum. We can all hope with that Cycles FM thing coming out, that modal cycles, we would hope that maybe we can get some machine drum action up in here. But who knows, you never know what Elektron's going to do. They're mysterious. All right, so anyways, so we have this sample, right? And we can switch to sample view. And let's see if we can find a good point to make a kick drum. Oh, yeah, so we need there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So all right, so there we go. It's always good to start with some sort of sample. So let's make that the sample. Plosive. Oh, that's annoying. Sample. Are you have no idea? Okay. Sample. So let's make that the sample. Sounds like I'm saying balls. I'm not, I promise. Okay. Balls. All right, so. This one might not be too, So one trick that I learned when you wanted to make more percussive sounds is that if you automate a pitch envelope, right, you can kind of simulate something. So you put it on 1 here. So I have an LFO, like a ramp, right? That doesn't work at all for this. That just sounds kind of weird. Let's see if we can find another part. I mean, that's not really very good. Oh, that's... I mean, it's kind of like a... I mean, you could... I mean, it's kind of an annoying sound, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Look at that mamma jamma. Now that is a kick drum, isn't it? Hot dang. All right, so now... So this is with the pitch on it. You can see without the pitch, it kind of takes away from that hit. There we go. Look at that. All right. So we have our kick drum. Assuming fancy schmancy. All right, so let's make a funky. Oh, and it started recording. There we go. So maybe we'll just started recording. So started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever started recording. started. All right, so let's see what we can do here for a snare drum. It's more like a hi-hat there. We could use that as a hi-hat. Add a little reverb. All right, so let's copy that sound, put that one there. And then there we go. Right, all right, and we'll program something later after we get this mamma jam all squared away. Now we still need a snare, though. Let's... Oh, wow. Oh, that could work. Okay. Maybe drop that pitch a little bit. How can we get rid of that guy? It's a little noisy for my tastes, but you know. You gotta work with what you got, right? Guess we're gonna do some sort of industrial thing going on here, huh? Yeah, okay, I don't know. I used to listen to all that stuff back in the day. All right, so let's see what we want to make here. Okay. Now we can just start making some weird stuff. Oh, sounds a little funky. Sounds a little funky. We do need a bass. Little funky. And it started recording. So maybe we'll just use. See now, if you actually switch this to looping, and you make it tiny like that, right? Right. So now we can go. Right, because you're just looping these little waveforms. And the shorter the waveform, the higher the pitch, obviously. That's how waveforms work, you know? So, let's, I made recording as what's cool is if you hold it, this is kind of neat, actually. I was playing with this the other day. If you hold it, assuming... There we go, okay. Ooh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it's starting to make some really cool effects here. So maybe we'll just use this recording. Recording is recording. All right, let's try that maybe for like some sort of sound. We can turn that loop off there. Okay. No, I'm not gonna like that. All right, we'll figure out a bass sound later. Let's come up with another sound. This is what we got so far. All right. So I see a bunch of people have just joined us. So this is what's going on here. I've got a sample here that I made literally at the beginning of this whole thing. Assuming, there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So let's make that the sample. So that's the sample. Obviously, it told you that was the sample. So now we're making something out of it, and it kind of takes on a life of its own as you come across cool things. So this is what we've made so far. So all of these sounds, you can see this is just that little guy, right? This is just that little guy there. That guy's that just little guy there. So now we're on this sound. I don't know what we're making yet. I haven't really figured that out yet. Porting. I don't really know. If anybody has any ideas, I'm down to. Oh, we could try. Ooh, how about that? So so if we loop that, right, and let's see, what can we do with that? I wish there was a way to have it loop back and then forth. You know, it goes in forward and then it reverses and goes back and so on. All we have here is reverse loop, forward loop, and we really need a ping pong loop up in here for anybody who is listening, which is nobody. So the idea here is, I was thinking maybe we could make some sort of pad with this guy, but it's too long of a. That's actually kind of neat. Oh, what type of song? Hi, AJ. Nothing. Literally, when I do these things, so just to give you an idea of things that have happened before. When I do these things, I take this is the first one I did. Right. So that just came out of the first one I ever did a couple days ago, which was this sample here. Making a 10-second sample for the sample challenge. Right, and then I had this guy. The sample magic is the most amazing thing that I have ever seen. And that guy managed to turn into this one. Right. And then the last one, I sampled my wife talking about our guinea pig.
Scrapple is a naughty pig.
And he is kind of naughty. And I know that sounds kind of weird because he's a guinea pig, but so that came into this one. It's kind of whatever you can make out of the sound and then build something around that. So there's no real goals. Oh yeah, that was another. So yeah, so that's where that is. So now we're trying to figure out. Just it's as you find a good sound, you turn it into something. Yeah, it was kind of fun. I saw a buddy of mine sent me a Instagram posting about the 10-second sample challenge. So I was like, let's mess around with it because I just got this guy traded an analog 4 for it. And I thought, might as well give it a shot, see what comes out of it. And it was inspirational. After 3.5 years working on Planet, the album that came back out in November, after 3.5 years of working on anything, you kind of leave that not knowing anything about life anymore. Like, what are we doing? What's next? Where's all that energy going to come from? So I've been kind of rearranging and experimenting, and I know Lauren's been doing the same thing in his studio. There's never really we're going to sit down and do this, or at least there hadn't been until Planet, and now we're going to try and see if we can do something like that. So yeah. Oh, I wonder if we could do like a. All right, so that could be like a growl thing. See, there you go. Exactly. Like after 3.5 years, it's like, what are we supposed to do? That's actually kind of cool, isn't it? There we go. Look at that mamma jamma. Ooh. Now we're getting industrial in there. All right. So let's see what we can do with this reverb here. Turn some of that up there. And if you're listening in stereo there, we can... Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I know, right? That's pretty gritty. And we're from Philly, so gritty works out for us. If you're familiar with the Flyers, he's like kind of our new national mascot here. All right, so we got this. Yeah. All right, so now what do we need? Assuming Ming. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little Ming. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little. I mean, let's make. Sounds. Oh, and you know what though? Let's do this first. Let's move this guy to over here. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. And move this guy there. That way we can use. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, that was definitely not professional on the camera here. All right, so let's. All right, so. So that guy's still there. All right, I like to keep things a little bit more organized. So I got the bass sound over here. We'll probably put like a lead over here, a melody over here, or something. There we go. So kind of other percussion stuff we can make on this mamma jamma here. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual. Okay. All right. Okay. Sounds a little record. Little sounds. Maybe another like. Maybe another some sort of other hat. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just. So there's a good sound. Is always a good one for. Yeah. So you take that. Right. Loop that, but bring it. All right, and maybe we can loop it even. There it is. Yeah. All right. Now. Oh, you know what's? This is a good one too. If we bring this down, bring you. Ooh. Let's put you there. That's pretty hardcore right there. I like that. So then I wonder what it sounds like chromatic. So, all right, let's try that guy there. So, let's pitch that guy down too. And if we give this envelope a little, there we go. So we live for FL Studio. Was my first DAW. Actually, wow. So it's March now. So 20 years ago, I discovered FL Studio as a senior in high school. Wow. It's 20 years since I started writing music. About around this time, because my senior project was writing music, and it was terrible. It sounded like somebody had filled a bag full of angry cats and then shook it a lot. And somehow Lawrence, still a couple years later, decided that he wanted to work with me. So I don't know what his problem is. Anyways, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, I started with the Elektron Mono Machine because I wanted a kind of an all-in-one groove box. I assume are you looking for like a synth? Are you looking for a groove box that you can sit on the couch with? Are you looking for something that's easy to travel with? It really all depends on what your goals are. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine about this the other day, and he had picked up an MC 101 because he thought it would be something that he liked, and he didn't end up liking it. So yeah, I mean, tell me, in this chat here, what it is that you're looking to do, and maybe I can recommend some stuff. And of course, there's always budget constraints as well. So yeah, all right, let's see what's going on here. Let's try something more. So let's see, how's that work? All right, so here's something I've actually been messing around with that I really like doing. So one of the cool things about the Elektron gear is you've got parameter locks, which are basically like step per step settings of all these things, and you've got conditional trigs, which mean that you can have trigs either trigger randomly by a percentage, or only play for the first run of a 2-bar section or things like that. So one thing I've been playing around with is, so I've got this guy here that's going to play. Let's mute everything else. What track are we on here? We're on 5. All right, so let's mute all that. Right, so what? Maybe not. There we go. Okay, we were on. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay, so we're on this track here, right? Now I want this guy when it hits every other one, I want it to do something different. So I can set this here to conditional 1, 1, 2. So that means that every 2 cycles it plays, this will only play the first one. So, right? So that dropped that one out. Now it's like, oh, what are we going to do now? So we take this guy, right? And now I've copied it here. I'm going to set it to 2, 2, right? But then I'm going to micro time it. So it's literally off by like nothing. You'll hear, and I'll change the note so you can hear the difference. Right, so now we have that guy going there, right? And then we can do a little retrig thing. So let's make... Right. Now, if I wanted to get super fancy, I could do this. So set this guy for 1... Oh, geez, how do I want to do this? So I want... See, this is where it gets a little tricky. I want this guy to be every other, but I want this guy... Okay, so I think if I make this guy 4, 2, 4, and then I make another one here, and we're going to micro time this guy up all the way to the end, right? And make you 4, 4, and let's see what happens here. There we go. That works. Okay, cool. And we can even give this guy a different... That's cool. All right, so let's see how that works. Oh, yeah. And that doesn't need to play every single one, obviously. That's kind of crazy. Maybe 1 every 2, right? All right, cool. All right, so let's see what you got here. You mess around, mostly looking at synths. Oh, okay, so you want to be just adjusting knobs. I mean, okay, so that's kind of like... I mean, there's 1,000, not thousands, but there's a lot out there. What kind of... so like the Digitone I like because I like the way that they implement FM synthesis. It's 8 voices, but then you've also got the sequencer and everything, so you can take it with you and sit on the couch and do stuff. And the cool thing with that, too, is if you write a melody you like on it, you can record that MIDI into your computer, which then lets you, save the work that you have been doing, which is kind of cool. I've done that actually a bunch of times when we were writing Planet. I would do a lot of stuff on the Octatrack over here, and then record that MIDI into FL Studio, or I would just record the audio and we would use that. So yeah, but I mean, you can get a lot of synths pretty cheap. If you're looking for analog. You're going to spend a little bit more money unless you grab like a Deep Mind, which actually I've heard aren't too bad for $600-700. I think you can get a 12-voice Behringer analog synth that it seems like a lot of people have been enjoying. And then let's see how much battery I have left here. Oof. Okay. All right. Let's make sure I don't run out of battery here. So yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean that's a good one that I've heard about. If you can find, I just saw a virus on Craigslist, a virus B for $600. I think I don't know if it's the same polyphony as the C. You'd have to look that up. You could also look at, yeah, I mean that's kind of a hard question to answer. What VSTs do you like? How's that? Let's start there. What like VST synths do you like, and how much are you willing to spend? That's always a big question. How much money do you have to actually do this? I spend a lot of time buying gear, selling gear. I tend to not buy anything that I haven't sold other gear for most of the time. Obviously, I started somewhere, but if you're willing to buy used too, it's always a lot easier to flip how much your money goes for. If you buy something used for $400, you keep it for a couple months, and you get $375 back for it, you still rented it for $25. So, if you're going to sell gear, you basically just think about the fact that you're renting it. So, all right. So we have that guy. Right, so now we need something. We need like a high thing here, and it started recording. So we will just use recording in the actual sample. So there we go. All right. Let's see what we got here. This overdrive is pretty nice. I wish it was a little bit more distorty, and the bit crusher thing is kind of neat, but I do wish it was a little more distorted. More of a distortion as opposed to bit crushing. I don't find that to be super useful for most of my needs. Oh yeah, because you're muted. All right, so let's make that 1, 2. No, let's make you 1, 4, right? And then let's make another 1, 2, 4. No, 3, 4, and give you some triggy trigs. Like that. Okay. And yeah, this retrig is cool. Again, I don't understand why Elektron makes some of the decisions they make. The Octatrack is much older of a machine, and yet the sequencer is so much more advanced in a lot of ways than the Digi series. Especially the way retrig is done. Look, let me just show you real quick. So one of the great things I like about the Octatrack is that the retrig is... It's right there. It's on the main screen, which means that you can, parameter lock it and you can automate it and stuff like that. Whereas the retrig on the Digitakt, you have to go into this little menu and you can't do anything fancy with it. And I don't understand. I've heard people say, well, the Octatrack is older. It's like, well, then why is it more complicated or, deeper? But that's just my thing. So let's see how it works. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, all right. I could hear this in like a, it's like Blade 5. What Blade are we on? I think they just cast what's his name as Blade, for that TV show. Assuming. Right, so we have there we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. All right, so we still need like an actual melody. So let's make assuming. Let's find a good. So now the key here is to try and tune it. That's not too bad. I mean, I never try to I don't get super worried about tuning this thing very heavily. Hold on a second, guys. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like it's really just you and me, AJ, if you're still there. If not, okay. That's cool. I can do this by myself. All right. So let's try that guy there. Remember, I'm not a player here at all. All right, so yeah, so that's the thing. All of that is from assuming. There we go. Okay. Oh, sounds a little funky. Oh, and it started recording. So maybe we'll just use this recording as whatever it's taking in as the actual sample. So let's make that the sample. So yeah, so that's assuming all of that came out of this. That's kind of neat, right? Look at us go. We're being awesome. Yeah, so, wow, I've been doing this for an hour and 4 minutes. That's kind of neat. I've never done this before. This is a lot of fun. I should do this more often, and I'd love to get more people in it. It says one person is watching. I have no idea if that's literally just me watching it. That would be kind of funny. I don't know if there's a way to see who's watching. I've never actually done this before. Yeah, I just said that. I'm just repeating myself now. Participants. Nope, it just says radioactive sandwich. So maybe it's just me watching it myself. Me, myself, and I. Anyways, I'm saying goodbye to whoever's out there. I'm going to muck about for a little bit, and then I will... then we'll go from there. All right. Goodbye.